Hi y'all, this is Maria with the Wreath Machine coming to you today with a new wreath tutorial. Stay tuned and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is Maria. Hope everybody's doing well. Just wanted to come to y'all this week, finally, after having the flu and getting through the holidays and the new year. I wanted to come to y'all with a new updated tutorial. So this one is going to be a heart-shaped wreath. It's going to be a studded wreath. So this is going to be like, not quite beginner, maybe intermediate level wreath making. It's probably going to take a couple times for y'all to watch the video to fully pick it up. There's a little things that are going to be going on that are not everyday wreath things. So they kind of go hand in hand with the new wreath technique. So if y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them as fast as I can. Yeah, just bear with me and hopefully y'all can pick this up. And like I've said before, you can purchase your stud machine at allstarco.com. 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 They have studs. They have the machine, they have the different parts, the dies and everything to put the studs on your products. You can also use the machine to set different studs and things on shirts and purses and shoes and things like that. So it's a multi-purpose machine. I don't think they plan on it being used for wreaths, but hey, that's where we're at. So they're down with it, I'm down with it. It's all good. So let me go over the supplies you're going to need for this. Obviously a pair of good shears or scissors. I got a pipe cleaner and a zip tie for my bow at the end. I'm using D. Stevens Valentine's ribbon. It is on their website at this point. It's item number 88-4051. It's 2.5 inches by 10 yards polyester. You can obviously use whatever Valentine's ribbon you want to use. I like this one, so I just decided it's good quality and it looks pretty cool. So it's like a gold and red and black, so I like that. I have my studs here. These are 4-pronged 9mm studs. Gold studs. So you can probably get these from Allstarco or something similar on allstarco.com. I have a couple extra glue sticks just in case. I cut a tail for my bow at the end because I'm going to show you again how to do a bow. So I just went ahead and cut a 20-inch tail from the spool of ribbon that I'm using. I have my glue gun. And I also cut a couple extra pieces of fabric from the spool because I'm going to need those for these two areas of the frame. Okay. This is why it gets a little difficult because we're dealing with curves and points and stuff on the wreath frame. Some of y'all might deal with this all the time. But this is the first time I've dealt with this, doing this type of, I don't usually do hearts that often, but this technique makes that a little difficult. So I also got the wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. So they should be coming out with these heart frames soon. I purchased a few yesterday from a store, but that's not to say that every store has them yet. So you could look on dollartree.com or you could buy some off the internet. It doesn't have to be a particular frame, but this is what we're going to use for this particular one. So I got my glue gun on and ready. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do at the top here where these crossbars are at is I'm going to kind of messily, but I'm going to glue this piece of fabric on the heart. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue on each area. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm gonna use this to glue my fabric to when I do the wreath. Otherwise, it'd probably slide back and forth on the frame. I don't want things sliding back and forth on the frame, especially when it's done, or consider that it could possibly happen, because things will come out of place. The wreath will look messy. So I'm just gluing it to the front, and I'm gonna glue it to the back, and I'm going with the fold of the frame. So as you can see, it's not too difficult to do this. So when I'm done, this is how it's gonna look. Okay, let me just go ahead and get a little bit bigger piece. Cut a little bit bigger piece for the bottom here, mainly because I want to make sure it goes over the front and back sides. Oop, that was soldered whatever piece right there. So I'm not going to use that anyway, because I'm at the end of the row on this one. And this ribbon is a little more pricey, but like I said, this is the one I wanted to use for this project. And you can use whatever design of ribbon you want. Come a little closer. You can use whatever design ribbon you want. This is just what I chose for this project. Like I said, for this, you just want to make sure it's long enough to go over the front and back. And you'll see more of what I'm talking about with it helping the main fabric of the wreath stay in place when we get to that part. So I'm just going to suggest taking care of this in the beginning. To get it done and out of the way before you get to the main part, and you can glue it however you want, y'all. There's no right or wrong. I just like folding it over and gluing it because to me it looks neater. Oops, oh, off center. Hold on. And if you have to adjust, you can adjust. It's not a big deal. So like I said, I like to show you things that happen while I'm working on the wreaths so that you could see like the process. It does not always go perfect. So when you do yours and something similar happens, you can see that it doesn't just happen to you. It happens to all of us. I know some people like to do their videos perfect all the way around, but I don't have a problem doing it like this because I feel like I'm teaching y'all more, showing you the ups and downs and ins and outs and stuff. Alright, so that part's good to go. So now you see I have the top and the bottom covered up. Okay. So like usual, I'm gonna get my new roll ready to go, which I should have had that done already, but I am actually going to pass through the ribbon roll through the center of the heart while I'm doing the project, because I'd have to cut the ribbon periodically if I don't do that. So yeah, that's the other thing. Glad I remembered that. Cut. Alright y'all, here we go. So I'm going to start. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to do my studs and have them ready. So just bear with me. On the top. on the bottom. Be careful with some of these ribbons because a lot of them do not like at all glue. So I'm just warning y'all. Some ribbon does not like glue at all. It'll look funny. It'll just do funny stuff. So I'm gonna wrap around. I'm gonna wrap around my ribbon. Come up a little bit more. Sorry y'all. Then I'm going to move everything else out of the way. I'm going to use the outer ring to do my stud, okay? So just make sure your ribbon is tight, but you also need to make sure you have them the front and back flush with each other. You don't want there to be a big gap because that could end up tearing your ribbon, okay? So there is number one. And then I'm going to pass through. And you can always add studs later if you need to. And I usually just put the glue a little bit on the ribbon and a lot on, not a lot more on the crossbars. And you're going to have to kind of gather, I don't know, ruche together the ribbon on these parts here that are curved. So don't freak out. You're gonna have a little wrinkle, a little gathering, and that's normal, and it's gonna look cool in the end, I promise. But that's just how it goes when you're working on these kinds of curved frames. You're just gonna have a gathering and some ruching like that, and that's totally normal, y'all. Don't freak out. All right. I hope y'all had a good Christmas, illness free. Can't say it happened over here. Just a lot of people in the family, I guess, that were sick, and we had a couple gatherings, and you know how it goes, y'all. Not every year is perfect. I also got a little under the weather in November because I decided to go, or October, November, because I went to Denver for a few days to see a concert, and of course it's like 40 something degrees outside at night, and yeah, pretty cold. I don't recommend concerts in 40 degrees anymore, to say the least, but yeah, sacrifices we make to have fun, right? All right, and remember when you're feeding your stud in to be careful not to pierce your fingers, and make sure you have the correct dye for your studs to feed your studs out. Like I said, allstarco.com has all kinds of studs, which mine have prongs, y'all. To do these kind of projects the way I do them, exactly the way I do them, you gotta have studs with prongs. If you don't have the prongs, you're essentially not doing the project I'm doing. You can have studs without prongs, but A, they're not going to hold the fabric in place. You're going to have to glue them in place. And those are not what I do. So I think most people use those kinds of studs for like gluing them onto like shoes to bedazzle stuff and things like that. But in order to hold the fabric in place on the wreath frame, I'm pretty sure you gotta have the studded, the studs with the prongs, excuse me. All right. So like I said, on this curve area, we're just gathering. And like I said, on the back, you push the fabric up to the front so that it's flush with each other, touching each other, so that your stud, when it goes through the fabric, there's not too much tension and essentially causes a tear. because depending on what kind of ribbon you use, the strength of it, the studs could tear, could potentially tear your ribbon. The studs are sharp, so a lot of force and pressure unnecessarily against the ribbon or on the ribbon could cause it to tear. So I'm just gonna warn you, make sure you have everything properly in place before you do things, because you don't want to get halfway through one of these wreaths and then they accidentally tear and it just doesn't look right, and then it irks you, and then you feel like you got to start all over again or cut half of it off or whatever. Also be aware of your crossbars also, that you don't accidentally stamp into one of them. I don't think it'll break the machine, but I would hate for it to end up breaking the machine, because I sure don't want to pay another X amount of dollars for another machine. Speaking of dollars for the machine, if y'all go on my page at the bottom on YouTube and the description box, there is a link for you to go to allstarco.com, and you will actually get a discount on your purchase if you use my affiliate link. Otherwise, if you go get it from Allstarco or Amazon, I don't see another way for you to get a discount, unfortunately. So please, if you want one of these machines, please sign up and make your purchase to the affiliate link on my page, because I want everybody to get a machine, even if you end up not using it for wreaths for some reason, which I doubt, but maybe a couple years down the road you have it still. You can do other little projects with it for your kids, your grandkids. Maybe you want to put some studs on a jacket or some studs on some shoes. Hey, go for it, y'all. The world is your oyster. Do what you like. Alright, so I'm getting back to where the wreath frame is getting straight. So at this point, you can just start gluing. Okay. And then I'm just gonna lightly gather around the edges. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. Kind of pinch it together. The stud in the machine. Oops. Sometimes they fall out, y'all. Ah. Excuse me. I'm having technical difficulties. It happens every once in a while. What you do is, when you put the stud in the machine, if it's giving you a little pushback and it doesn't want to go in all the way, all you got to do is feed the stud into the edge of the, I guess it's the die, and you let it sit there, and you push down just enough to push the stud into the machine, okay? But not full force. You don't want to get it stuck up in there because it's a pain to get it out. So just gently, lightly tap down with the handle and seat it in side of the die. I think that's what it's called, or the stud setter thingy-majing. I'm pretty sure it's called the dial. I don't look at the information that often, just when I go on there and buy more studs. So excuse me for not being well versed in it. And some of the studs go in okay. Oops. Some of them fall back out. If you can do it fast enough, it should be good to go. Just get the little glue hairs off my frame. So I like these wreaths, not just because I came up with the idea, y'all. I like these wreaths because they're lightweight. They're easy to ship. I mean, heck, I hang them in my house, especially when I'm selling them. I hang them around my house like decorations, y'all. So these, since they're so lightweight and they take up a lot less room, you can hang like 1,000 of them in your house and it's still not gonna look overcrowded because they're so small. You know, they're only as big as the frame is. So I mean, you can sell 50 of these to the same person. They can give them to family. They could take them to their job. They can hang them in their cubicle. I mean, you could do that with a big wreath too. But to me, these are different. They look different. They're more original. You know, everybody's been doing deco mesh wreaths for like 150 years already. And now that I started doing this, I'm noticing there's a lot more waste when you use deco mesh. There can be. So I feel like these might be a little more eco-friendly on top of it, because all we're using is just ribbon, studs, and a frame. Maybe a bow if you want a bow. Like if I'm doing this for a guy, I might not put a bow on it, because guys, I don't think most guys like bows. My husband doesn't. Some other people might. All right, y'all, let me just pause here. So I'm getting to the part where I have the gathering, the point, the angle. So I'm gonna do this one piece on the right side. Show you how to maneuver that. And see, with this piece in the middle that we pre-placed, it covers the area. So it looks like there's a whole separate total piece of cloth here, or ribbon here, that's attached to what I have in my hand. But it's its own thing. So like I said, I'm attaching this piece to the center piece, and it's gonna hold it in place. I'm gonna stud it, I'm gonna set it, and it's gonna keep it from moving around and slipping off the center part, which if you've done these before, yeah, that's what happens. So I don't want things slipping around. I want them shipping to my customer or getting to my customer. I do not want things slipping around and falling apart. Okay, I'm probably going to show you something else in a second here that I totally forgot about. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put, since I have a crossbar right here where my finger is, stud here and stud after it. Okay, and then maybe a stud even after that, because I want a stud to be placed where there are 2 or more pieces of fabric so that nothing slips. And also try and make sure you keep your studs lined up, and that's just a matter of looking at the machine when you're placing the stud and looking at it. Okay, so here's my other crossbar, or my crossbar that I don't want to land on. Yeah, so I'm gonna get this one as close to the crossbar as I can. Okay, so that's there, so they're not too close together. And so I feel where this piece of ribbon is, the single piece of ribbon is underneath the ribbon that's on the spool. And so what I want to do is put one more stud, maybe right here, yeah, somewhere right here, so that at least some of the stud is going through each piece of fabric, and it's essentially bonding it together so it doesn't come apart. Okay, get myself untangled real quick. Halfway through. Editing is something else, y'all. It's fun, but it's like, oy. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring over the ribbon. Yep. I'm gonna bring the ribbon over from the back, y'all. I don't know if you could see. So I studded it, and it's just a piece hanging. So I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to, because there's an angle right there, flip it up like that. And you're just going to have to kind of play with it a little, and it also depends on the direction you come from when you do your initial beginning part of your wreath. But there should be a way for you to do it either way, okay? So I'm bringing it over. Okay. Glue on top. Glue on the frame. All right, here we go. So I'm bringing this over. It is a little gathered. Let me try and fix it real quick. You can fix things pretty well until the glue dries. You're gonna have a little bit of gathering going on, which is not a super big deal. And again, and it might look a little wonky in the center here, but it's not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do is gonna do a stud here. I'm gonna fold over and do another stud, because I just want to make sure again that my stud is bonding my ribbon together so that it does not come apart. All right, and you can put as many studs as you want. Not a big deal. Let it be known though, the studs cost some money. So does a ribbon. You know, so does everything. So I'm just gonna ask you to keep in mind, you might want to keep in mind the amount of supplies you use, because we want to make our wreaths cost efficient, not just for our customers, but for us. Because, you know, each pack of 100 studs cost money, y'all. I mean, oh, I got a crossbar. Let me do a stud right here. Do another stud next to it. Each pack of studs costs money, y'all. So you get 100, you use 30 on each one at least. You know, you're gonna constantly be buying studs. But I'm just saying, keep your try to be as efficient as possible. But like I said, it's up to you. And if you're making your own and you don't care how many you use and it's for you, hey, go for it. You want to use 500 studs? Go to town. Actually, you can use as many as you want either way, because you're grown. I'm just saying, they cost money, y'all. I'm not trying to spend all my money on one wreath. I'm trying to make my supplies go as far as possible. Unless somebody makes a special request and asks for a certain amount of studs to be placed and they're going to pay the extra money for it, that's one thing. But just in general, I'm going to be as practical and efficient with my supplies, because I want them to go as far as possible. That's just me. That's just your friendly wreath maker giving you advice, because these are nice, but y'all, they can add up a little bit if you're not careful. Because you can be like, man, how many studs did I use on that wreath? Oh crap. And then you're like, oh, I gotta place another order, which is fine because you get a discount when you use my link. But still, you know, you're trying to make a profit when you make a wreath. So you just want to be careful how much of everything you use, because it adds up, y'all. And it ain't nothing cheap these days. Alright, so I'm still putting the glue, a little on the frame, a little on the ribbon. And then we're starting to get back to that part again where we have a curve in the frame. And make sure you catch yourself before the glue dries. Whenever you put glue, that you make sure you squish both sides of the fabric on the frame together, because if you don't catch that, you're gonna have that gap I was talking about earlier, where you're gonna have a piece of the fabric that could possibly succumb to pressure from the stud going through it, and it could cause a little tear. And you know, little tears can become big tears, y'all. And you don't want a tear to become big when you get it to your client, because they're gonna be like, wait a minute, I didn't order this with a tear in it, so what happened? So yeah, be careful, because you don't want that big gap in between, essentially. All right, let's see here. So we're coming back on. Be careful not to burn your hands. Coming back on the gathered part. So we're gonna have a little bit of gathering of the fabric, starting to go on again. And y'all can wrap these around as much as you want, as many times as you want before you put a stud through, but I just do that to stay consistent and make sure I don't have big gaps going on or anything like that. So and if you are watching and you're not interested in making these, but you'd rather buy one because you decide you don't want to work on them because they're a little too much for you, I'm going to make a few more and post them on Etsy.com on my page. Just look up the Wreath Meshine or Maria Damelin, and it should come up. So here we go again. Because some people watch these videos and they see something they like in the pictures, but they don't necessarily want to make them or buy the equipment to make them. So I just let people know, just in case, where they can get the items from. Because let's be real, not everybody's into wreaths and all that stuff, because, you know, some people don't have the patience, y'all. This stuff takes oodles and oodles and oodles and oodles of patience. This is not like this is not like coloring I got a crossbar. I'm gonna hit a stud right here. This is not like coloring a coloring book, y'all. This takes some coordination, takes some patience, takes some vision, that's for sure. Imagination, patience. Did I mention patience? Yeah. Funds to invest in the things to make the items you're gonna make. See, like some people can't even deal with the ribbon getting all bunched up. They're like, they start having a fit, which I do sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But if y'all don't mind, please, whether you're making or you're just watching, if you could like and subscribe, y'all would be doing me a huge favor. This is a new technique that I came out with maybe last month or so, and I'd really appreciate it if y'all could share the video, share it with your friends, family, just put it on your Facebook, like it, subscribe, because I do come out with periodic tutorials. Sometimes it's regular wreaths, sometimes it's the studded wreath. It just depends what my little heart comes up with at the time. But if y'all don't mind liking and subscribing, if y'all could let me know too if my tutorials help y'all or not. I prefer help. Hold on, y'all. Always make sure you don't have a stud already in the machine. If my videos help y'all create things, That's really awesome. And I would really like to know that. That would be great, because if I'm helping people create in this world and making their life easier and explaining things on levels that help them, that would make me feel really great, honestly. So if y'all don't mind throwing me some words, and kind words, please. Nice comments, please. We like nice comments. That would be awesome. And like I said, if y'all could share, subscribe, that would mean the world to me, y'all. That would be the bestest Valentine's Day gift y'all could give me ever. Just give me magic fluffy feelings. So we're getting close to getting towards the end. And then I'm going to show you how to, ooh, maybe glue stick. I'm going to show y'all how to make another bow to go with the studded wreath and how to place it. I made one of these already, y'all, but I don't have it here. I actually took it to a place where I sell my wreaths out of, and nobody honestly is gonna know too much what they are. They're probably gonna think it's just a regular wreath. I need to add a few more studs here. Hold on one second. But I probably should have kept it here at home to show y'all an example, but I guess I'm gonna be showing y'all one in a second anyways. So see how I went forward and added extra fabric, and then I forgot to add a stud, and it had like a big old naked spot? Well, that's why I stud wrap, to keep me consistent. Because if I just keep adding and then I forget, or something gets in the way, or blah blah blah, I just don't like things looking inconsistent like that. So right now I'm trying to figure out how many more times I'm gonna wrap. Let's see, I think I'm gonna do 2 more times. Sorry about my voice, y'all. I'm still trying to kick the residuals of the flu out of my system. I don't know what demonic entity came up with the flu, but it really needs to go somewhere and stay away from me. Because this flu right now, y'all, is no joke. I just saw on TV before I came in the craft room that there's like hundreds of thousands of, I don't know, people with the flu right now. Talk about something making you want to stay home. Because that is #1 making me want to stay home. Y'all, it's not worth, it's not worth getting sick just to hang out for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, it's not. If you have the flu right now, I hope you feel better, or COVID, or anything. Y'all, just promise, just stay home. A little more glue here. Fixing to wrap this sucker around. So I'm going to wrap it one more time around to fill in that naked spot right there. Yep. Alright. And so like I said before, the ribbon on the spool is going to overlap the ribbon piece that I put initially on the frame. And it's going to kind of be like a cover up. So either way, it's gonna be there. I'm gonna glue it to death, and then I'm gonna bring it back around the back side. And I apologize if y'all can't see that well, but I'm kind of wrangling this right now. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, hold on. You're gonna have to adjust sometimes, and that's okay. So I'm gonna hold this here, I'm gonna hold this here, I'm gonna bring it around the back. Sometimes you just gotta manhandle it, y'all. without ripping it. Okay, so then I don't want to put it too tight. See how this is nice and clear? I want this to be kind of nice and clear too. I don't want it to be too jumbled, messy looking. Alright, so I'm going to put a stud here because I have my crossbar here. And then I'm going to put one over here. And then we'll be done with, see? And we'll be done with the frame. And it is a little close on that one, but it's okay. I'm going to cut off push down without burning your fingies. Get that out the way. This little excess off here. And then I'm going to put my final stud. Alright. It did not rip. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Got that done there. Alright, y'all. So this is what it looks like. The heart. The studded heart. Simple wreath. Okay? So I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to come right back and I'm going to show you how to do the bow. Okay? Okay, everybody. I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the bow for the studded wreath for the heart. And so I got my little tail. I have my little tail here that I made. This is actually gonna be my tail for my bow. So I'm gonna put that down in the 2 fingers, my bow holder. Okay. Just want to have a little tail hanging off of the wreath. That's all. Alright, y'all. Let's do this so we can get back to our lives. Y'all can do dinner or whatever it is y'all gotta do. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna do a 6-inch tail. Or 6-inch, yeah, I'm gonna do a tail. Extra tail. There's never enough tail, you know what I mean? Especially when you're doing wreaths. The more tail, the better. Alright, let's see. 6-inch. Remember what I said before. Put it in the fingers. The side that's done, that already has your loop. Hold it. The other side, pinch and twist so that your ugly side is facing up. Pull my tail up out of the way. Go to the 5. I push down. See, that's just how I do. Put it in, pinch and twist. So once your loop is done, your good side is showing on the front and in the back. Okay, this is a single-sided ribbon because one side is the nice side and one side is the ugly side, or the side we don't want to see. There's some ribbons that are double-sided. Both sides look the same. Oop, 5 in. And this is not one of those. So we don't want the ugly side showing. I mean, you can do what you want, but that's just not how we do it normally. And these bows that I do, y'all, I just do whatever comes to mind. Like right now, I'm just showing you. You can make your loops, you can make your tails, whatever size you want, y'all. it's up to you. So 5 inches. Okay, then I'll go down to 4 inches. One. I'm gonna do 4 4-inch loops. This. As you watch me, you build that muscle memory. Pick up how to do the bows, so you don't have to constantly give you the instruction the whole time I'm making the bow. Because you see in the beginning, gather, drop it, hold, pinch and twist. Drop it again, right? Measure, gather, drop it, hold, pinch and twist. All right. And like I said on my other videos, I try to separate and fluff my bow as I'm going, but depending on how much time constraint you have, you may or may not be able to do that. So everybody does their bows different. Some people use a lot of tails, some people only use 2 tails. I mean, it's just your preference, y'all. So like I do mine, I just have that little extra tail, 6 inch. Sometimes I don't even measure. And if you don't like the tail and you make it, you can always cut it off after you put your zip tie on and tighten it up. I mean, it's up to you, y'all. Everybody does stuff their own way that they like. So while I have it on, I'm checking. I got my 3 on the bottom row, my 2 on the middle row, and my 1 on the top row. And I go on this side. 1, 2, 3, 2 in the middle, and 1 on top. And I have 1 tail. You know what? I really don't like this tail. So that's how you do it. If you don't want the tail, cut it off. Alright, leave the other one or cut the other one off. It's up to you. So I'm just trying to show you that you can do whatever you want, however you want with your bows, and it's up to you. Alright, so like I said before, we get our zip tie, I do, to hold my bow in place better, okay? I take my 2 fingers, my pointer and my middle finger, I stick them, 1 on each side of the fingers here, and I lift up my bow, and I put my thumb on top to hold it in place, okay? And then I bring my zip tie down underneath in between my fingers, and while it's in place like that, I do the final adjusting of my bow. I fluff, I fluff my loops, I position them where I need them to be, right? Then I do the same thing. I put my thumb on top, in the middle, 2 fingers on the bottom, on either side of the zip tie, and then I go to the bottom part of the bow, and then I adjust and I move my tails where I need them, and I tighten things up. And I do that until I feel everything is where I need it to be. And then I tighten it up. And then, okay. I chop. And you can still fluff and all that after you tighten your zip tie, but it's just going to be harder to move your loops around if you need to, because everything's going to be super tight. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dab of glue in the middle of the bow. Then I'm going to get my pipe cleaner, bend it in the center, and then I'm going to put it on my bow. And you can also put your dab of glue on the back, just a little bit, not too much because you don't want to burn your fingers. Tighten it up. Then, ta-da, pretty much finished. We're gonna go ahead and find a spot to put the bow. So I'm thinking somewhere right here. So I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so when I find my spot, which is about a third of the way up from the bottom, I'm gonna get my glue, put it all in the center and the back part of the bow. Then I'm gonna push it down where I want it. Okay. Please be careful not to burn your hands, y'all. Then I'm gonna flip it over. I'm going to tie off. Yeah, I'm squishing my bow, y'all. I'm gonna have to adjust it. But again, this is one of those real life things that happens. I don't usually use my shears to do this so that I don't damage them, but I don't know where my wire cutters are at the moment. Been shipping a lot of stuff off, so they're probably in the other room. That's why you should always put things back where they belong, y'all. And you know what? If you have a pearl, you can add a pearl. So I have like this ivory gold looking pearl, and since I feel like it'll give it a little bit of extra oomph, I'm gonna go ahead and place it. So the only thing I'm gonna suggest at this point is sitting your wreath down until the glue dries to make sure your bow is set in place and it doesn't fall off. But this is the final product, y'all. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Are you gonna try this yourselves? Do you think it's something that's doable? Or what level do you feel like this is on? So like I said, if y'all don't mind liking, subscribing, leaving some comments. Nice comments, please. We like nice comments. Let me know what you think, and also let me know if you'd like to see other tutorials with different wreath things. Feel free to put those in the comments also. So I will try to get on as soon as I can with some more tutorials or some more ideas. Y'all have a great weekend. Again, Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a blessed and safe Christmas. And I will talk to y'all again soon. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.